Vince Coglienese, editorial director at the Daily Caller, joins me now on Skype. Vince, good to see you. Always great to have you on.
Thanks.
As we saw, the calls for unity were plentiful yesterday. Vince, how likely or realistic do you think that is, given the rifts between Republicans and Democrats, and really, quite frankly, within the Democratic Party itself?
The rifts are deep. You're absolutely right about that. And so this is a tall mountain that for anybody of any political persuasion to climb. What really stands out to me yesterday from Joe Biden's inaugural address is, yes, it focused very heavily on unity, but there was a portion of the speech where he characterized the divisions in the country. In other words, the detractors to the Biden agenda. And he sort of sweepingly referred to them as racist or nationalist. And I think that's the kind of thing that turns off the average person who may not have voted for Joe Biden, but is looking for reasons to be unified with him. They don't want to be slandered in that way. And this is a very rough time politically between both parties. So right now, I think the idea of unifying the country, while a lot of people would desire to see that, it seems pretty distant at this moment, because I think most of Washington continues not to realize why people are disgusted with Washington. And it's typically that they're not serving, that D.C. and the people who lead here are not serving the people's interests often enough, and that creates a lot of outrage.
Yeah, President Biden actually wasted no time at all signing 15 executive orders and 2 executive actions on his first day in office. And as we know, more are expected in the near future. Some of those rollbacks mark dramatic changes from the policies of the Trump administration, especially when it comes to pro-life policies. Let's talk a little bit more about that. And Vince, what stands out to you?
Well, first of all, let me just give credit to EWTN, because I thought that Owen Jensen's question yesterday amounted to one of the most substantive questions in the entire press briefing from Jen Psaki. And it's the one, by the way, she very obviously attempted to dodge. Asking that question about specifically the status of the Mexico City policy and the Hyde Amendment led her to only answer, well, Joe Biden is a very devout Catholic. President Biden, of course, is what she said. That's not an answer to that question. We got a bit of an answer to that question today, as we saw Dr. Fauci announce the Biden administration's position on the Mexico City policy and rescinding that. And that means that American taxpayer money is going to go towards the promotion and encouragement of abortion around the world. Now we await the changes to the Hyde Amendment that were promised by Joe Biden during the campaign, which could result in American taxpayer dollars being spent on abortions domestically. Not a Catholic position. And I don't think any president can hide behind the idea that they just declare that they're a devout Catholic or have a spokesperson do that. Joe Biden, the president, needs to step in front of either Owen Jensen or anybody else who's willing to ask that question and give some clear answers on why all of a sudden he's now in a position where he's going to use taxpayer dollars. No matter your personal ideology, you'll be contributing, if you're an American citizen, potentially to expenditures on abortions. That is a tough pill to swallow for many Americans.
Yeah, Vince, we have probably about a minute left, but I want to get to this last question quickly. Still on the horizon, as you know, a potential Senate impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump, with lawmakers divided on whether that should move forward or not. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think that signals to the American people?
Well, it signals, I think, that Washington's completely distracted from issues that actually matter to the public. So why would you be spending all of your time trying to impeach somebody who's not even in office, trying to convict and basically create a political circus around somebody who right now is a private citizen? First of all, it's already constitutionally dubious whether or not they can continue in this effort, given that he's not in office. But if they can, and they do continue, I think it's going to be another sign that Washington's got its priorities wrong. There is a country that is struggling. Many people who are unemployed still. The pandemic running through our country needs to be resolved. And people are just looking for answers from Washington, and instead they're getting spectacles.
Yeah, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much, Vince Coglienese, editorial director at the Daily Caller. Great to have you on.
Thank you.